For decades, Mercedes-Benz stood for certainty, cars you could trust, value you could predict, and engineering that felt untouchable. But today, that certainty is cracking. Electric sales are falling, factories are slowing, and cars built to define the future are quietly being pulled from the market. For the first time in generations, the world's most trusted luxury brand is facing a future it didn't plan for and may no longer control. Chapter 1. When Mercedes was the undisputed king. For decades, Mercedes-Benz didn't need aggressive marketing or flashy promises to sell cars. The brand's reputation did all the work. Mercedes vehicles were known for being over-engineered, built to last hundreds of thousands of kilometers, and designed with a sense of timeless authority. The S-Class wasn't just a luxury sedan. It was the global definition of luxury. Heads of state, CEOs, and royalty trusted Mercedes because it delivered consistency, durability, and prestige. Even entry-level models carried a sense of seriousness that separated them from competitors. Mercedes buyers weren't chasing trends. They were buying into a legacy. This approach created an almost unbreakable bond between the brand and its customers. People didn't just buy one Mercedes, they bought many over a lifetime. The company focused on engineering first, technology second, and design third, ensuring that nothing felt rushed or experimental. But as the automotive world began shifting toward electrification and digital experiences, Mercedes faced a dilemma. The very conservatism that built its empire suddenly made it look slow and outdated. Instead of evolving carefully, Mercedes chose to leap forward aggressively, attempting to reinvent itself almost overnight. And in doing so, it abandoned many of the principles that made customers trust the brand in the first place. Chapter 2. Chasing Tesla and the Electric Obsession. When Tesla proved that electric vehicles could be fast, desirable, and profitable, the entire auto industry panicked. Governments announced future bans on gasoline engines. Investors demanded aggressive EV roadmaps, and public pressure mounted. Mercedes-Benz responded by making one of the boldest commitments in the industry: a rapid transition toward an all-electric future. The company poured billions into its EQ lineup, promising that electric Mercedes vehicles would represent the next evolution of luxury. But in its rush to compete with Tesla, Mercedes made a critical mistake. It treated electrification as a branding exercise rather than a customer-first transition. Instead of gradually integrating EVs into familiar models, Mercedes created an entirely new identity around EQ, distancing its electric cars from the traditional Mercedes look and feel. The company believed customers would follow the brand anywhere, but loyalty only goes so far when the product no longer aligns with expectations. Mercedes assumed its reputation alone could justify premium pricing, unfamiliar designs, and experimental technology. What it underestimated was how different the EV buyer mindset truly is, and how unforgiving this new market can be. Chapter 3. The pricing disaster that killed demand. One of the biggest reasons Mercedes can't sell its electric cars today comes down to a single, unavoidable problem: price. When the EQS and other EQ models launched, they entered the market with price tags that shocked even loyal Mercedes customers. Fully loaded models regularly crossed the $100,000 mark, positioning them above Tesla, BMW, and other competitors that offered better range and stronger performance for less money. In the EV world, buyers are extremely value-conscious. They compare range, charging speed, software updates, and resale value obsessively. Mercedes assumed luxury buyers would accept higher prices simply because of the badge. But EV customers don't think like traditional luxury buyers. When a Tesla offers longer real-world range, a better charging ecosystem, and stronger performance for tens of thousands less, the Mercedes logo suddenly loses its power. As demand slowed, dealerships were forced to discount heavily, destroying residual values and damaging the brand's premium image. Worse still, early buyers watched their expensive electric Mercedes vehicles lose nearly half their value within a year, creating a wave of distrust that spread rapidly across the market. Chapter 4. Design that alienated the faithful. Perhaps no decision symbolized Mercedes's identity crisis more than the design of its EQ lineup. In pursuit of maximum aerodynamic efficiency, Mercedes embraced a smooth, rounded shape that critics quickly labeled the jelly bean or space egg design. While efficient, these cars lacked the sharp lines, elegance, and authority traditionally associated with Mercedes-Benz. Loyal customers didn't see luxury. They saw something unfamiliar and emotionally disconnected. At the same time, new EV buyers weren't convinced either, because the designs didn't stand out enough to justify switching brands. The result was the worst possible outcome. Mercedes alienated its existing audience without attracting a new one. Design, once a strength, became a liability. In trying to look futuristic, Mercedes forgot that luxury is as much about emotion as innovation. Chapter 5. Range anxiety, charging reality, and infrastructure failure. Electric vehicles live or die by real-world usability, and this is where Mercedes fell further behind. Despite impressive official range numbers, many EQ models failed to match competitors in everyday driving conditions. But the bigger issue was charging. Tesla built its own charging empire with the supercharger network, offering reliability and simplicity that no other brand could match. Mercedes, like most legacy automakers, relied on fragmented third-party networks that frustrated users with slow speeds, broken chargers, and confusing payment systems. For luxury buyers accustomed to effortless experiences, this was unacceptable. The absence of a reliable charging ecosystem turned every long trip into a gamble, undermining confidence in the product and reinforcing the perception that Mercedes EVs weren't truly ready for prime time. Chapter 6. The Depreciation Nightmare. No one warned buyers about. If high pricing slowed demand, depreciation completely destroyed trust. Historically, Mercedes vehicles were known for holding value reasonably well, especially flagship models. Buyers felt safe leasing or purchasing because resale values were predictable. That safety net vanished almost overnight with the EQ lineup. Within just 1 year, many Mercedes electric vehicles lost between 40% and 50% of their value. For a car that cost well over $100,000, this wasn't just disappointing, it was financially devastating. Early adopters watched as identical models sat unsold at dealerships, marked down tens of thousands of dollars below what they paid. Leasing companies recalculated residual values downward, making monthly payments less attractive. Used car buyers avoided EQ models entirely, fearing rapid obsolescence and expensive battery-related repairs. This created a vicious cycle. Poor resale values reduced new car demand, which forced further price cuts, which then crushed resale values even more. In the luxury market, perception is everything, and depreciation sends a powerful message. It tells buyers that the product is risky, unstable, and unwanted. Mercedes underestimated how fast this narrative would spread, and once it did, reversing it became nearly impossible. Chapter 7. Software, Screens, and the Illusion of Innovation. Mercedes believed technology would be its competitive edge, but instead, it became one of its biggest weaknesses. The MBUX Hyperscreen was marketed as a revolutionary feature, a massive, futuristic display stretching across the dashboard. On paper, it looked impressive. In reality, many users found it overwhelming, distracting, and unnecessarily complex. Basic tasks required too many steps. Menus felt cluttered. Software updates were inconsistent. Unlike Tesla, which built its vehicles around software from the ground up, Mercedes attempted to layer digital systems onto traditional automotive architecture. The result was a product that felt technologically ambitious but poorly optimized. Luxury buyers don't want to feel like beta testers. They want technology that fades into the background and simply works. Instead, Mercedes EV owners reported glitches, lag, and usability frustrations that clashed with the brand's promise of refinement. What was supposed to signal the future of luxury ended up reinforcing the perception that Mercedes was chasing trends rather than mastering them. Chapter 8. Quality concerns and the cost of ownership. Problem beyond design and technology, another uncomfortable issue began surfacing: long-term reliability. Mercedes built its reputation on durability, yet modern models, both electric and gasoline, started receiving criticism for quality issues. Electronics failures, sensor malfunctions, and expensive repairs became common complaints. For EVs, the fear was even greater. Battery longevity, replacement costs, and specialized maintenance scared off second-hand buyers. Luxury customers expect higher maintenance costs, but they also expect peace of mind. When ownership becomes stressful instead of reassuring, brand loyalty erodes quickly. Mercedes vehicles increasingly felt fragile rather than robust. This perception hit used car markets hard, further depressing resale values and reinforcing the idea that buying a Mercedes, especially an electric one, was a financial gamble. Chapter 9. Losing the luxury identity. Perhaps the most damaging mistake Mercedes made wasn't technical at all, it was philosophical. In recent years, the company shifted away from ultra-luxury and toward higher-volume premium models. The goal was growth, but the cost was exclusivity. Mercedes began offering more entry-level vehicles, more trims, and more variants, diluting the sense of prestige that once defined the brand. At the same time, it raised EV prices dramatically, creating a confusing contradiction. Longtime customers felt abandoned, while new buyers didn't see enough value to justify the cost. Mercedes ended up stuck in the middle, neither truly luxurious nor convincingly accessible. Brands that lose their identity often struggle the most because customers no longer understand what they stand for, and that confusion translated directly into declining sales. Chapter 10. China and the US. When the biggest markets turned cold, Mercedes' struggles became impossible to ignore when its two most critical markets, the United States and China, started cooling simultaneously. In the US, EV incentives became uncertain, consumer demand softened, and competition intensified. In China, local brands offered advanced EVs at far lower prices, eroding Mercedes' premium positioning. Trade tensions and tariffs further complicated the picture, increasing costs and reducing competitiveness. For years, China had been Mercedes' growth engine, absorbing luxury vehicles at an astonishing pace. When that demand slowed, the impact was immediate and severe. Inventory piled up globally, and Mercedes could no longer rely on emerging markets to mask problems elsewhere. Chapter 11. Profit collapse and quiet retreat. The numbers told a brutal story. Overall car sales fell sharply, while net profits dropped by more than half in a single year. Mercedes responded the only way it could: price cuts, paused orders, and strategic retreat. Some EV models were quietly pulled from ordering systems in the US. The company publicly announced it would rethink its aggressive EV-only timeline. extending the life of gasoline and hybrid vehicles far beyond original plans. This was a major reversal, an acknowledgement that the market wasn't ready, and that Mercedes itself wasn't prepared for such a rapid transition. What was once framed as visionary leadership now looked like overconfidence. Chapter 12. What Mercedes must do to survive Mercedes-Benz is not doomed, but survival will require humility. The company must realign its pricing with real-world value, redesign its EVs to reflect classic Mercedes elegance, and prioritize reliability over spectacle. It must rebuild trust by stabilizing resale values and delivering technology that enhances rather than overwhelms. Most importantly, Mercedes must rediscover its identity. Luxury isn't about being first, it's about being right. If Mercedes can return to its core principles while adapting intelligently to electrification, it still has a future. But if it continues chasing trends and ignoring customer reality, the decline will only accelerate. The warning every legacy brand should hear. Mercedes-Benz's struggle is more than just a corporate problem. It's a warning to every legacy brand that believes history alone guarantees relevance. The automotive world is changing faster than ever, and even the most iconic names are vulnerable when they lose focus. Mercedes tried to leap into the future, but in doing so, it forgot what made people trust it in the first place. The question now isn't whether Mercedes can build great cars, it's whether it can remember who it is. If you enjoyed this deep dive documentary and want more breakdowns like this on the auto industry, electric vehicles, and the future of mobility, like the video, subscribe to the channel and comment below. Is Mercedes-Benz making a comeback, or is this the beginning of a long decline?